I said, oh, I can video like this. What's going on YouTube? This is your boy SJ, and I want to talk about the Frost build, the complaining. It's ridiculous that we ask for defense speed back. We ask for something to bring defense speed back, and we actually get it, and everybody's complaining about it, saying, oh, it's cheese, blah blah blah, it's broken, it's making the game even more broken. And I'm sitting here like, the apprentice has been bad for so long. The Uber is complete trash compared to every other hero's Uber. Flamethrower, that makes it completely, it makes the tower unusable at times. But it's alright though, right? As long as there's LSA out there for people that were just LSA, doing LSA, Liferoot, Nightmare on Hard, exploiting, bugging, whatever you want to call it. And now the apprentice finally gets something that makes it useful, and everybody's like, oh, the game is broken, blah blah blah. The apprentice has not had any type of build or efficiency. The hero was not needed. The hero was trash, if you guys would even say. It was not worth leveling. It was not worth anything. And me being my main being the apprentice, I was actually ecstatic that we got something that made it more viable. It made our heroes more usable. Instead of, we have to have an Huntress, we have to have an LSA, and we have to have a Squire. That's it. Nobody had an apprentice until they heard about this Frost Tower build, or whatever you want to call it. Which is funny, because I was doing Frostbite builds before we even had the build for it. Before we even have the passive stats to roll. I was just using a natural large sphere that froze them. That's all I was using. And I was using Earth Shatter to get the now and again one shot. And it's like, are you guys serious? That as an apprentice player, the apprentice finally has something to make it top tier once again. The monk is still out in front. People are saying it shouldn't stack. Why wouldn't it stack? If it doesn't stack, there's no reason to use it. Really, you're gonna use one Frost Tower, then it's back to, you're gonna need LSA, you're gonna need your your Chaos thing is the new thing to use now. I see that. The Chaos, because of just the buff and the amount of damage it is. I don't, if this gets nerfed, the Frostbite build, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play the game. Because in the pre-wipe, pre-alpha before wipe again, Apprentice was so bad. His Uber was bad. All he was Frost Tower. And that's pretty much what he is. He's a support player. Monk is no longer your support role. It is Apprentice. Now, the faster that we understand that, the better the game's gonna get. Sorry about the lag. The servers have been lagging a lot today. I don't know if it's on my end or their end. But Frostbite is finally a way for you to play solo. I'm predominantly a solo player. I do not play in parties. I don't know why. Probably because when I play in parties, I hop into random games, and more or less or not, they're gonna kick you if you don't build exactly the way Mr. Bossman wants you to build. So I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'll just play solo. I'll test out my own builds, and that's why I play solo 99% of the time. No matter what it is, I will play solo. I can easily hop into a Nightmare 4 map with somebody carrying me and getting max gear like that. But that's what's wrong with the community. Everybody wants that Nightmare 4 gear like this. They don't want to progress. They don't want to have to try out different builds, try out different methods to improve their game, their gameplay, their gaming, their knowledge of Dungeon Defenders too. They want to sit back and be able to use the cheesiest stuff. And if you say Frostbite is cheese, you're probably the one that is using LSAs, and we're doing the Betsy XP bug to get your level 50s faster. all that you're probably exploiting, and now that this is in the game, you're like, oh my god, I need to start an apprentice. I didn't start an apprentice because the apprentice was bad. Apprentice was my first level 50. Apprentice is my main hero. Now, is this build a little cheese? I can say maybe only 2 or 3 frost towers should be able to stack. Once you go to 4, it's not going to stack anymore. Maybe that'll be a way to fix it, because people are not going to just throw 100 freaking frost towers and a couple of things next to it. But if you guys do not know my frost tower build before this build, you will know why I'm upset that people are complaining so much. Because finally apprentice is usable, is needed, and all you hear is complaining. That's all you hear. Oh, it's cheese, it's broken, blah blah blah. And people are saying it's broken because they can finally solo a map. How is that broken? Your knowledge of the game is mediocre in my opinion, because you feel like one build broke the game. People are not saying about this hardy blockade. People out here with blockades that are like 600k. Like, how is that not broken? Like, compared to the spike blockade, compared to the arcane blockade, it's ridiculous. Arcane blockade, yes, it gets a buff, great, but it's unusable. It's not viable because it explodes and opens up and all the monsters just walk through. That's the biggest problem with the blockade. So as of right now, to play solo, you need all 5 heroes. All 4 heroes. Before, you only needed a monk and your huntress maybe for melee or physical damage, because you had the explosives traps. That's all you needed. Now you actually have to progress your other heroes if you want to be able to play solo. And they're saying, oh, it's cheese. How? Because it stacks? It's meant to stack. It's meant to buff your defenses. I've never been part of a community that... Actually, I was part of the Call of Duty community, which was so bad. Once they just started recycling material over and over. But this is not the point. The point is, we want a game that feels like we're progressing. We're getting better gear. We're getting builds that are useful. Harpoon? Not useful at all. Hardy Harpoon is not a useful build. Hardy Blockade is now, that's a useful build for you. That's going to actually make you take that next step. I'm probably not going to beat this guy, so if I don't, so be it. It is Nightmare 2, I think. Nightmare 1? Nightmare 1 or 2. It's Nightmare build. Just messing around. Doing some Frostbite builds for you guys, because I don't know how long it's gonna last. I really don't. I think it's gonna wind up getting nerfed to the point of where the game is just like, are you serious? And look at this. This is not LSA either, guys. That's the thing. These are regular lightning strike orbs, and that's why I approve of this build, because I don't need an Uber. I don't need chaos, because I spent my Uber on the flamethrower Uber, which is completely useless. And guess what? My dailies are not working once again, so it's going to take me even longer to get the Wavering tokens to be able to get maybe an Elemental Chaos, maybe LSA Lightning Strike Aura. You never know. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. It was a little rant on last 3 waves on some Nightmare 2 of Liferoot, the map to farm. As it's just a map because it's so easy. Nobody saves the quap, but basically, to summarize this is, if this build gets nerfed and Flamethrower does not get one of the biggest buffs I have ever seen in my life, where it's doing LSA damage or something, I don't want to play. I'm losing interest in the builds because of just what is needed to do the same old stuff. So, well, we'll see later. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this little, I don't want to call it a rant, but my ideas on all the complaining You weren't complaining when you were running LSA for days and all you did was run LSA, LSA, LSA. You weren't complaining when you were exploiting XP. But now since Apprentice gets a build that is viable, it's cheese. Why isn't the Hardy Harpoon cheese? That's what I want to know. Why isn't Hardy Blockade cheese? As soon as this Cannonball build comes out, they're going to say the Cannonball build is cheese because they're going to increase the Cannonball's attack speed once again, and they're probably not going to be using any more explosive traps. It just doesn't make sense to me to complain on the level that a lot of the community is, but I can't do nothing about the community. I can only put my positivity into the community, and my positivity in the community is positivity is that this build, if it does get nerfed and it doesn't stack anymore, Apprentice is going to be unusable. He's not going to be a valuable hero. For what? You don't need him for magic. You don't need him for buff anymore because they nerfed it. What are you going to need him for? Now, I think people are upset because they don't have their Apprentice level 50. Apprentice is my main hero. I'm building right now with him. I'm trying to level up my Huntress, but if I see any of this stuff change, man, I'm gonna be really upset. I got a good, garment name, but I just don't know, guys. I don't want Apprentice to get nerfed, and just how the community is complaining about it, I would not be surprised if Friday, during the dev stream, they announced that they're gonna be doing some crazy nerfing to the Frostbite build. If they do, I don't think I'm gonna be D2ing it for a while until the Apprentice gets back on top. I don't want to feel like I have to play Monk and Huntress to stick with the top tiers. But hope you guys enjoyed. It turned into a little rant. I apologize for that, but pretty more to come later.